Hi, so in this video, I will be explaining on how you are going to use the design method called flexible modeling in developing your design, especially in fashion design, in the process of idea development for your fashion design class. So let me start with what is flexible modeling. So flexible modeling is one of the design methods that is normally used in product designs, or industrial designs, in initiating design ideas from existing element. So normally when we do fashion design, we will go based on our subject matter and look into the subject matter and study the formalistic aspects of that subject matter before arranging them or composing them into a design. In this session, we are going to try another approach in which we already have predetermined silhouette, and we are going to explore on how we want to apply the design details. And the best design method to explore this is flexible modeling. So before you start with flexible modeling, you first need to identify your design details. So design details come in many forms. And in this particular project, I suggested to you to find things around you, your existing clothes. So what can you look into in terms of design details? So here I have a short cargo pants, and one of the design details is a safari pocket with a double flap. And the features of the pocket is quadruple stitches. It has also double stitches, it has buttons, and it has one direction pleats. Normally, such pocket will have box pleat kind of structure, but this one, it has only one side of a pleat, and perhaps that is to serve the purpose of the pocket to only fluctuate on only one side. So these are the things that you need to look into. There are many design details that exist in this particular cargo pants. I also find a welt pocket with double stitches that is very interesting, and also waistbands with lots of double stitches. So I'm going to use this in my design. So I'm going to use the design detail, so you will see how we are going to use it later. Another item that I found around my house is my husband's hooded jacket. So this hooded jacket is interesting as it is a very simple silhouette, but the details is somehow a bit unique, not so unique, but it's not the normal hood. So the construction of the hood is like a semicircle with a slight awning on top of it, and it is very suitable to be used with cape. And despite having that awning, it also has drawstrings and also stopper to really place the hood on top of the head, because normally the problem that we have with hood is it's kind of slippery. So this construction is interesting, as we know that it is going to provide some support. Apart from that, the hooded jacket also have the zipper with handle. I have a full video of setting a different kind of zippers, and you can refer to that later on. And the cuff is also interesting, as it is a combination of a normal cuff and also elastic band and Velcro. So these small details that you need to look into when you are searching for your data visuals prior to do flexible modeling. The third item is another jacket that I actually bought from Tesco a few years ago. So what is interesting about this jacket is it has this extended collar. It seems like a stand collar, but due to the structure of the fabrics, it is not hard. So it will somehow tend to flap over. So it gives some aesthetic, and also the placement of the zipper on the breast side of the jacket is very interesting, and also the construction of the pocket looks usual, but it is unusual. And overall, the silhouette of this jacket is also somehow it is shapeless, but the details is interesting. The opening is not straight on the center front; it's slightly on the side, and if you can see that its construction, it is not a set-in sleeve, it is a kimono sleeve with a breakdown panels. And also if you look at the hemline, so it's not something that is too unique, but it gives you some idea on how detailed you should go. So this item of clothing also has this opule, which is normal for clothes. So that is the first part that you should do, is first to identify, and second to analyze your design details. How to analyze your design details? Look closely to the design details. Look at the size-wise, the ratio, types of stitches, types of thread, the construction. So you need to break it down using just a fast and quick sketches and just measure it out to analyze really, so that you know the ratio of the flap and the pocket. And there is example. So if you look into other design details, also you need to look into the design details in terms of size, ratio, types of stitches, types of threads, and etc. The third step is to reconstruct your design details in 2D or 3D forms. So if in 3D forms, you need to find another fabrics of a different or the same type of material of your initial design detail. Let's take the safari pocket, for example, is now you can construct it using calico, but that is the 3D part. So the 2D part, you can reconstruct it because it helps you to further understand the construction, the placement of the pocket, the placement of the button. I didn't do much of a detail here. It's supposed to be double flap, but well, since it's a flat drawing, so it's a single flap. But what is interesting of doing it in 2D by using computer-aided design software such as Illustrator, you can use this design detail in your technical drawing later on. So it saves you a lot of time of drawing all the details. Apart from the safari pocket also, I tried to reconstruct the design details of the well pocket. Now notice that the size of the canvas is A4. So therefore the weight of the lines is 1 point to 0.75. So if you scale it down, you might need to tone down the size of the weight of the line. So that really depends. And the fourth step is then we go into the flexible modeling, in which we arrange or we model the design details on the dress form to get more ideas. So remember that your dummy or your dress form has 3 particular lines. This also applies to human body, which is the bust line, the waistline, and also the hip line. So when you take note of this, so whenever you do the draping or you do the arrangement, and when you are going to transfer it into drawing, remember that you are dictated by the ratio of these lines. So consider the proportion. Like the picture on the right, I started to pin the dummy on the toile. As I said, that the silhouette is already predetermined. So the silhouette is not the main concern here. The concern is the placement of the design details. And I took for the toile, I didn't do the sleeve because for me, sleeve can serve as the complementary part of my design. So I use the existing design details, such as the waistband, to put it here to see how it can serve as sleeve. So I didn't feel right, so I tried to extend the sleeve. So I took a piece of cloth, just strap it on the shoulder, and just put some border to it to give some impression of an extended or kimono-like or raglan sleeve. So yes, you may work outside the lines. The lines here by means is the form of the body. So you can work outside the lines, provided you need to remember the ratio and the proportion. So next, the fifth step is to redraw the idea. Somehow you need to redraw because you need to reconstruct those design details later on. So by redrawing it, you will somehow trying to remember the placement, the types of lines, the quality of lines, and also all the details that is embedded in the design. So in order to redraw the idea, you need to have one good croquis for fashion drawing. And I will suggest that you do this one-off, refer to illustration book, go for the right proportion, and make it your own. You can photocopy it and use it, the template, forever. So again, pay attention on the lines on the body, aka proportion. So look at the croquis that is in the slide. It is not frontal, it is slightly 3/4. So the center front lines is slightly on the side. It is not frontal. So those are the things that you need to put in mind for a good fashion drawing. And you photocopy it. It is yours. So in this process, so after all the draping of the design details, all the flexible modeling on the dummy, so I transferred the details onto the drawing and make it a cohesive and solid design as how I imagine it should be. I use a female dummy. I mean, the dummy is for women's wear, but I'm doing it for men, so it's a menswear design. So it is still okay, considering that you have to remember the lines, which is the bust, the waist, and the hip line. So there you go. Do some sketches. This is important to give you some vibe of the design. If your design should have the vibe of relaxed, cool. So your drawing should reflect that. Remember the consumer model that I told you to do, the FAE, the functional, aesthetic, and also expression. So how you want to project the vibe. So the drawing will play a very big role. Therefore, you need to have a very good fashion design croquis. The sixth step is to refine the idea, the one that you just draw, by improvising it. Improvise. So from one drawing, you can improvise a lot. So remember to start with very good croquis, a very good croquis for flat drawing. So I have here male and also female. You can do your own and just use it forever. So you need to project the technical drawing part of your design as if like the design is being laid flat on the floor. That is why it is being called flat drawing. So this is how I do it using CAD, using Illustrator. So I put the picture side by side and just try to redraw. So you remember the design details, the safari pocket and the whale pocket? So I had it here. So it's just a matter of copy paste and put it here. So we use the template of the male croquis for template and for guidance. And since the design is symmetric, so I only do one part. So the blue lines actually indicate the inner part. So if you're doing symmetry, it is easy. Just do one side and copy and then reflect, and then it has become one design. So how do you improvise from this? Improvise by taking into account the difference of opening. You still want to opening on the center front, or you want to do slightly on the side, or you want to do it here. So first consider the opening. Second, consider the hemline of the sleeve, the hemline of the garment overall. And then thirdly, the design details. So you can play with the design details. Here, I took out the flap, I put it as a breast pocket, and then the welt pocket, I put it on the side. And the sleeve, I change it from this sort of sleeve, which is like perhaps a loose kimono type of sleeve, to raglan sleeve. So these are the improvisations that I talk about. So you can do it just by using computer aided design, and you can do 2 simply. You can do more, you can do 5. Remember, this is only the front view. Don't forget to do the back view. Yeah, so that is how you improvise your drawing, by using flexible modeling technique or design method in fashion design. I wish you all the best and good luck